Today it's time to see, will our bikes fit in our EKKO? And if so, will anything else?
We've been using the EKKO and we love it, and you guys know that already. But the way we've used the garage is not the way we want to use it for every trip that we go on. We have a lot of toys. We bought this so we can take the toys with us. We haven't taken any so far on these trips, so now it's time to unload all the things that are in the garage, see if the bikes will fit, and decide, do we want the bikes to be on the inside or the outside? First step, let's take everything out.
That's pretty cool that you can do that. Now, let me show you the things that I've divided into 3 piles.
So let's start with this pile, which is everything we would like to be able to take on every single trip we go on. First thing, leveling blocks. Next thing, solo stove. The air pump for the tires, a little table, 2 EKKO chairs. We have a tool kit, and we have the rug, the room, and the max tracks. And then back here, we have mostly things that I need for the sewer and water, and also we have a tow rope, we have tire replacement and repair kits, we have a way to air down. That's everything we think we want to take on every single trip just to be prepared. So if that's the stack of everything that we want to take on every trip, this is the maybe stack. First thing, a cast iron skillet. We use it a lot when we make campfires. Another thing, the little pack-light grill. It doesn't take a lot of room, so hopefully we can find some room for it, but it comes in handy every now and then. Thermocell. These things are, I don't know, iffy as to whether they work or not. If we take our room, we don't have to take the thermocell, but if I can find room for it, I certainly do. Next, we want to be able to take our bikes. We've had a lot of flat tires. We want to take some extra inner tubes, so we'll do that. We may just put them in the bike bag, but somehow we need to take inner tubes. Right now I've got 3 that we take with us. We have a few extra blocks. Now these 4 blocks won't make that big of a difference. If I had to and I needed to raise up this far, I could use the max tracks to get us up further. So I'm thinking this is probably not going to go. And then the next one is kind of controversial. The Blackstone. I really want to be able to take it, and a lot of you guys really want us to take it because we've been showing you cooking on the Blackstone for about 4 years now, and I love this thing. And in our last trip, I made pancakes on it for Lynn's birthday breakfast dinner, and it works out really, really well. But the convenience of using the outdoor kitchen area, well, it's just there. I have a little bitty grate I can put on top of it that I can either make cook steaks like we did before, or I can make pancakes and other things, and it's always just right there. It's built in, and it's right over the refrigerator. Convenience. So if there's room, yes, we want to take this, and we will, but it's in the maybe pile for now. I hope that doesn't upset others. We still will be cooking on a griddle. It just may be on top of our outdoor kitchen. We'll see if it makes it or not. Okay, I did get rid of a few things, and those were like the little shelves that we had in there, and a piece of wood and some other miscellaneous things. But now it's time for Lynn and I to load the bikes in and see just how much room these things are going to take up. First thing I'm going to do, this door doesn't open all the way, and I know there's a reason for it. You don't want it covering up the hot water area, but it's going to make it inconvenient to get the bikes in. So I'm going to remove the safety cable so the door will open up all the way. Okay, now we can see if the bikes fit. Now, a few caveats about putting the bikes in. I know us. Some goals we want to have happen. We want it to be able to go in really easily. We don't want to have to wrestle it. I'm always worried about my back, and anytime I do something strange lately, I tweak my back and we're down for a couple of weeks. The other thing is, I don't want to have to move 7 or 8 things every time we want to use the bikes. We won't use the bikes as much, so I want to try to create a storage environment so that we can get the bikes out, use them, put them back, and they got their own little space, nothing's in the way. That's the goal. But the first step is just to see how much room these Rad Mini Step-thru bikes are going to take in our garage. Pretty sure we're going to need to put the handlebar down in order to do this. And then, kickstand up. First step is going to be to put the tire up here. We'll roll it up as far as we can, then we'll lift the back tire up. That's not heavy. Okay, so now, okay, let me show you just from putting this in how much room is still left. As Lynn said, not much. We do have maybe 8 to 10 inches above the handlebar. We could lower the seat, and then there's more back here. So we can make use of vertical space as long as it doesn't keep us from being able to put the bikes in. So now, let's put the second bike in. Go ahead and lower the handlebar. Put it front tire in. Now granted, that was our first time doing that. It was a little more difficult than it will be if we've done it 50 times, but it's not that easy. One of the reasons is kickstand gets in the way. Handlebars are both on the same location, so it's really difficult to push it in and make enough room. Okay, so we're gonna sit back and think and try to make a decision about this, but what do you think? Taking these bikes means one of two things probably. We're going to have to move things in and out of this little area here if you want to maximize the storage and be able to use the bikes. So I don't think we're going to reach the goal of being able to put the bikes in, use them every single time and not have to touch anything else. That just doesn't seem to be the way that's going to work. We do have the option of putting our dually bike rack on the back of this and carrying our bikes on the back of it. It will make us a little longer as we go down the road, but it would free up this space for not only what we've already put in here, but maybe some Oru kayaks or something, so we can have water toys with us at the same time. But Lynn and I have a little thinking to do. We'll get back to you in a minute. Here's what we're looking at. Not a lot of space in between both of them. Up here, yes, there's a little bit of space that we could put something in this area. And like we said, there's plenty of space down this aisle. And up above, there's vertical space that we can make use of. So I think if we were okay with moving 15 or 20 things every time we want to get the bikes out, I think it would work. But I think now someone's going to ask, and we need to answer the question for ourselves, would it take up less room if we folded these foldable e-bikes? And the answer is, it might. But that means we've got to lift up the entire weight of the e-bike and move it around. And that's going to kind of defeat the purpose, because eventually we're going to hurt one of our backs doing that. So I don't think we're thinking that's an option.
I'm thinking right now that we put them on the back.
I think I agree with that. Because here, this is everything that's left on the ground right now that needs to go on every trip.
So we also have the issue of how we're going to secure these things driving down the road so they don't beat up the side of the van and they don't beat up each other.
And so I think we've reached the conclusion that we own a really good bike rack. We have a hitch back here on the back that the bike rack will go in. It'll fold down to get out of the way so we can still get to the back, and then that will leave every square inch of the garage for things like Oru kayaks and all these other things that we have out here that we know we want to travel with. Did we waste our time today? No, because until we did this, we didn't know how it was going to fit in the garage. Now we know. Did we make a bad choice in getting the EKKO since the bikes won't fit in here along with everything else? No. The indoor space that we live in is so much more comfortable for us. There's also the other option, as you saw with Wayne and Mary in the last video that we released a few weeks ago. They don't have an outdoor kitchen and they use that as storage. That is an option. I could put the griddle in there and lots of other things, and that would free up some of these things to go in there. But no matter what, I'm going to have some very large things that need to be stored in the garage, and I think we've arrived at the conclusion. Bike rack goes on the back of the EKKO. So we put the bike rack on here, and now we're going to see exactly how much length it adds to the van. So it's going to add, let's just say, 32 inches. So our RV is 23 feet long without the hitch. so it's almost 26 feet long with it. So this folds down with the bikes on. I can walk around, open the door, and now I can get into here. I've also learned from previously using this, I can sit things on here to move them into here, so it looks like it may not be convenient, but it actually is convenient to have it back here once you lower this down. And with the bikes on here, it will still drop down and you can still get access to this. We both realize that we need to work on our storage compartment and our storage system back here to maximize all that vertical space now that we know we can use it all. So it may seem like we just did all that for nothing, but we've really maximized how we have things stored back here. And there's still a tremendous amount of room for additional things to go back here. The griddle did make it. This shelf was in there before we're going to leave it. There are max tracks underneath and they're out of the way if you need them. That's something that you don't mind getting them out in an emergency situation. Cooking supplies and other things are over there. Rug we use all the time. Room, outdoor table, 2 chairs. And then if you come around to here, well, solo stove, and all this space here from here to here is empty. So we've got to figure out a way to maximize that. The Viair is hanging on the wall. We don't use it very much. The extra little levelers are hanging on the wall. We don't use them very much. The ones we use all the time are on the back wall and I can get them out. So I can put things I use every single trip and every single day up here, like towels. In fact, look, both of these 2 things, I'm not going to use them every day. Down here below, I've got extras of a lot of things. Trash bags, gloves, tape, tire repair kit, air down kit. All the things that we may need every now and then, they go down there. So we could have emptied everything, reorganized, made better use of that space without having to try the bikes. But I don't think we would have ever known if the bikes were going to work in there until we took the time to put them in. Now, if we needed to travel somewhere where they needed to be protected, where we needed to be as small as we could, like on a ferry to Alaska or something, we may choose to travel with less stuff and the bikes. And we may choose to make the choice of we'll move things around anytime we need the bikes to keep them inside. We have proven that they'll work in there, but they're not as convenient as we would like for them to be. Thanks for watching this struggle as we try to decide the best way to make use of such a large space in a very small RV. I think we've made that decision for now, but if you'll stick with us, well, you may see that that'll change in the future. Until we see you again down the road, happy trails and happy storage.